Welcome to Shop Talk, where we chat about what's going on in our businesses right now, both what's exciting and what's challenging. When something exciting happens, we want to ensure we're taking a moment to recognize and celebrate our successes. When things are challenging, talking through them to gather each other's perspectives is often so insightful.
And if you're going through any of these challenges at the moment as well, we hope that by sharing openly, you know you're not alone and that as business owners, we're all navigating this crazy journey together. Speaking of crazy journey, happy 2026.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I mean, January is always crazy. I literally can't tell you what day it is. My son wakes up every morning to be like, is it a TV day or a school day? Because he's so sad now that he has to go back to school. Watch cartoons every day. And he's like, he literally cried this morning to be like, not school again. I'm like, stuff gets you when you're 4. You are unable to face the world and do normal everyday things. So
wow.
I hear him. It's like putting one foot in front of the other and remembering kind of like your logins and your just routine. It's been a week.
It's been really hectic. I have had a couple clients like, I emailed you Monday. Did you get my email? And I'm like, yeah, you and 65,000 other people. I'll get back to your trip that is not tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like in November. Like you're
right. I know. Yeah. It's the prioritizing of all the things that happened while we were out of office.
I told her, I was like, I'm in full triage mode. Like, I'll get back to you by Friday. Like, yeah.
Yeah. There is no clearing my inbox by the end of the day for a little while. I just am like, okay, that's important. That can wait. That can wait. This is important. Oh, great. And then I already, I mean, I think that I want to have this momentum but I also want to just like catch up. So I feel like I'm starting from a like zen, ready to go place. And that's just hard to do after a break.
I'm definitely like the duck, sailing smoothly above water, but like frantically below water.
Right.
That's definitely me this week. Like things are under control.
Yeah.
But like my inbox is a mess. And that always like when my inbox is chaos, then my brain is chaos. And so I don't love that. But I have a really hard time keeping my inbox at like not even 0 is not even an option. Like if my inbox is like under 30, I'm like, oh, we are doing good.
Really?
It is I just can't. Well, it's never full of like client supplier back and forth correspondence. Okay. It's always full of like emails that I want to read, but they're not a priority. They're not urgent. And then I just ultimately never get to them.
Yeah. It's
and like so they sit there for 3 months until I finally accept reality and just delete it.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Best of intentions. These are going to get deleted.
I try everything. I try keeping them there. I try like it's Superhuman. They have like the remind function. I'm like, just get these out of here until like the weekend where maybe I'll have some break. But then it gets to the weekend. I'm like, I don't want to read this right now. Yeah. So I do this for like 3 months until I finally like just delete.
Yeah.
I can't process this.
That is so funny. Also, I'm really curious because this is a kind of tangent, but I have been looking at Superhuman. How long have you been using it?
4 or 5 months. I love it. I'm obsessed.
Okay. That's a good.
So I just brought one of my team members on.
Yeah.
Like a month ago. And so I'm not yet fully into like the experience of having a team on there.
Okay.
Jury's still out if like this is better because what they say is that kind of like instead of getting an email and then coming to Slack and chatting about it with your team, you do it just like kind of at somebody right in that thread.
Right.
We're already in Slack chatting about a million other things. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not convinced on that part. So I might not continue paying for her to use Superhuman instead of Gmail. But from my perspective, it is so much faster. The keyboard shortcuts are just, I never touch my mouse. I never touch my mouse when I'm in my inbox. And when occasionally I like go back to Gmail, I'm like, oh, get me out of here. This is awful. the templates, the email templates that we use. So like in Gmail, you can load templates, but the way that you load them, the way that you use them, the way that you edit them is just very like clunky. And it's like, okay, this is kind of here, but I don't love it. So
Yeah.
then I had all my templates like in a Google Doc
Yeah.
that I just always had that doc open, and I was like copy pasting templates. The templates in Superhuman are bomb.
Okay.
And like it's way more like it's way easier to set it up, it's way easier to go edit it, and then when you want to use one, you literally click the semicolon key and you just choose the template that you want, and then it's there. And then the template also lets me like BCC Asana to like send an automation, BCC my team on certain emails so that I'm not like having to click around and add emails, or so that I don't forget to CC them. So I would say it's a combination of the keyboard shortcuts and the templates that are like, I'll never go back to Gmail. I'm paying for this.
All right. Well,
Those two things alone. Yeah, I love it.
You're right, though, about talking, it's like we have Slack, we have inside of our task management system. It's like, where should we be communicating to just have it a bit streamlined? So, yeah, figuring that out.
For us right now, like all the tasks are in Asana, and the team will tag me or comment on it if they have a specific question about that task that's not like urgent or whatever. But if you really want to chat about something, that's Slack. It's all happening in Slack.
Okay, so what can we start the year off sharing with our lovely audience, who I'm sure is in the thick of it with us and doing all of the things? How do you feel like, I don't know, what is this year kind of like starting off in terms of your intention and your any changes or anything kind of you're starting off differently or wanting to see differently as you start the year?
So what's interesting is that if you would have asked me this question last week, I wouldn't have had this answer. But my friend posted this silly thing on Instagram, and it has stuck with me. And so you're going to laugh at me and probably roll your eyes, but here we go. So some explicit language is coming up, folks. My friend is also a business owner, not in the travel industry.
Okay.
So she just is literally a graphic on Instagram. Like she didn't comment about it. She didn't talk about it. She just posted it. But I'm going to read it to you. It says, "My competitive advantage is I'm having more fucking fun than you. Not because I don't care, because I care so deeply that I refuse to make it fucking miserable. I build things I want to return to, not escape from. And I stopped romanticizing my suffering like I was some kind of war hero and started romanticizing the kind of work I go to bed excited to wake up and continue. Turns out enjoying your life makes it much easier to keep showing up. You can grind until you hate the work. I'm going to enjoy the work until I win."
Nice. You're like, amen, double tap, hallelujah hands, all the things.
So I saw it and I immediately screenshot it and sent it to my CTO for the Hive. And I think that that's why it resonated, is because in the last couple of months, as we've been like working behind the scenes on the Hive, like it is a genuine pleasure to work with her. Like,
oh, that's so cool.
Our brains and our like ideas and our vision and just all of our like brainstorming and all the things, like we are just so in sync.
Yeah.
That there is nothing about all the work that we've done recently that feels like a slog. And that was not the case when I launched the Hive in 2023.
Right.
It was a really big endeavor and I was doing it by myself and it was really overwhelming and it felt like a slog. And so it was a kind of a combination of, I was already feeling this with Megan, but then I saw this graphic on Instagram from another friend and I like screenshot it and I sent it to her. And we were both just like, yeah, like we're having fun. So that was kind of it wasn't like this big thing. But then I kind of started thinking and I was like, I'm not always having fun in my agency. And only I can change that. Right. So yesterday, probably Monday too, probably like since this week, It's just been random. Like, I didn't do anything intentionally. I didn't journal. I didn't meditate. I didn't do anything. I just showed up to the calls that were on my calendar.
Yeah.
The calls I've had the last 2 days have been so much fun.
Really?
Like genuine, like these are silly examples, but I'm not joking. I'm getting off of a call with a client yesterday, a discovery call, a repeat client. This will be the second client. And I ended the call saying, you guys, this is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited.
And you meant it.
Then I don't say that shit unless I mean it. No, I meant it. And I'll and the reason why I said this is going to be so much fun is because they've been to Italy millions of times.
Yeah.
And they want to go back to Italy. And so they're not looking for, like, they're not going to the Vatican. They're not going to the Colosseum.
Right.
They don't want a walking tour in Florence. They love food and they love art. And so we got to talk about all these ideas of like things that we like, what they're envisioning for their trip and what they're most excited about and what they're looking forward to. But on my execution side, after we talked about every like region, like Rome, Florence, Tuscany, it's the most classic itinerary you could ever imagine, but their trip is going to be anything but classic. And after every little like part of our conversation, like we talked about Rome for a bit, we talked about Tuscany for a bit, we kind of got to like the end point of that part of the conversation. And I was just kind of like, lead this with me. I don't know the answer, but I know exactly what you want. I know exactly what you're looking forward to. Like, let me go see what I can do with this. And
Okay.
I am so excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I genuinely meant it when I said that at the end of the call. Then entirely separate email correspondence. Clients are going to Wimbledon for a day. And so now we're planning like the London around Wimbledon. And this is just a super quirky client that she's literally like my only client. Like, we're not really interested in Churchill.
Let's just be honest.
And she actually said in her email, like, is London kind of boring? Like, and she did give me some ideas, and I did outline it in like to a full week itinerary. And I don't think that they're going to be bored, because they were like, do we need to leave the city for a day and like do a day trip? And I was like, well, maybe, but like, let me sketch this out a little bit first. And so I think they're going to be fine. Like pubs, gin, going to a couple shows, Wimbledon. Her husband used to live there, so like they're excited to just go back from that perspective. But here's the fun part. They love 80s alternative music. Like, love it. And she was like, is there any tour or like experience or anything like not 80s rock, like 80s alternative music? And I was like, let me Google this.
Right.
There are 80s rock tours. So I like looked it up just to see like something exists about this, right? And so they're basically taking you to like clubs where a lot of the famous bands started playing and where they were discovered.
Okay.
Kind of. So then I emailed Celebrated, who I work with for all the touring and stuff in London. And I was like, here's what we're working with. Like, do you have anything related to 80s music? Like, is there something we can come up with? And so she was like, hold on, like, there's a guide I have in mind. Like, let me just email him. So the guide comes back, and she like copy pasted the guy's comment. And he was like, this sounds like a fun gig. What kind of music are they into? And I was like, oh, let me find out. So I like emailed Kim, and I'm like, I need specific bands. Like, what do you really love? And so she writes back, and one band, she was like, this is the reason my husband and I are together.
Wow.
Then she was like, we love these other ones. My husband loves these guys. I love these guys. So all in all, there were like 6 or 7 bands mentioned. I copy paste this back to the team at Celebrated, and the Celebrated team responds, this is so much fun.
Wow.
And I was like, right? I know. Like, this is fun. And so I just kind of like yesterday was on this like a little bit of a high of like, this is how it's supposed to feel all the time.
Yeah. It's literally the point.
And I was talking with a couple of my mentees earlier today, and I was describing this as well. And because they're terrified of niching, right? And I was like, listen, I'm 10 years in and I don't niche down as much as I should. But I was like, you know what?
I should. Yeah.
The idea of niching has never, it like resonates with my brain from a logical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't ever get executed like it should. And I've never known like what's missing. Like I've just assumed it's just fear and what's the word? Like my mindset being in kind of like lack mode. I'm missing the word. Scarcity, like the scarcity mindset. I've always just kind of assumed like I'm scared. I'm in a scarcity mindset, so I can't niche properly. I'm working on it. Like I just kind of assumed that was the reason. And then when this fun kind of concept came up, which is so silly, I was like, well, what if we just reframe it? What if I don't need to focus on niching? I just reframe it. Like, does this inquiry sound fun?
Right.
No thanks.
Write me up. Yeah. I mean, I'm loving it because I think that this is from an entrepreneurial standpoint and perspective. It's like usually the missing link. It's like the why that got us started and the thing that kind of like set us on this path of doing something we love and finding that overlap to where we bring value and help people and getting like lit up and excited about that. And then starting our journey of like, but it has to be a business and it has to make money and it has to make more money and I have to scale and all of that. And then you're like, oh, it's like the graph that I'm seeing is like, as this goes up, this goes down.
Yes. Right.
And you're like, whoa, where this space is really, really big. How do we move this back up so that like, as we're doing this joy and excitement like continues to rise. So like what was the connection, I guess, that you made from like, I see this, I receive it, like this speaks to me. And now like, is it kind of like that, this whole, you know, how like manifestation works? Like you just start to have this awareness and speak life to the thing and then it like makes it happen kind of a thing?
That's the only explanation I have. Like I was genuinely having fun with the Hive stuff. I saw this like quote and I like screenshot it and sent it to her. I didn't really think about it after that, other than I did notice and like think like I'm not having this much fun in the agency. And I also am just kind of like over being stressed.
Yeah.
I'm just over it. Like I'm over not being able to turn my brain off at the end of the night. I am over getting worked up over small details that are not worth getting worked up over. I fired a client over Christmas because he just like wasn't kind. And we had been trying to make it work for like 3 months. And at some point I was just like, this isn't working. You're frustrated. I'm frustrated. We don't have to do this. Yeah. And so I say I fired him, but really like nothing had been booked. And that was the effing problem. Right. So like, I think it was a win-win for all of us. Like we could just go on. We're not tied to any trip that's been booked because it literally hasn't. And like that felt glorious. Yeah. I was really nervous to do it.
Yeah.
Even though like mentally I was like, this has to be done. I know that I want to do it. I know that I want this outcome, but like actually writing and sending the email was really hard for me. And so I did just kind of have to like take a deep breath and send, you know? And then once I did and he didn't respond, I was like, that was the right thing.
Yeah. So I almost think it's about like redefining how you determine success, describe success, like measure success. Like if the goal is like have more fun and then everything filters through that versus number of trips planned, revenue, all of the other things that are like usually what our goals are built on.
And it could be all of the above, right? Like I still have to pay my bills.
Like trickle down to the other, right? Like
exactly. Like I received this many new inquiries. I booked this much travel this month. And on a scale of 1 to 5, how much fun did I have? My guess, without the data to support it, let's check back in June. My guess is that when inquiries are high and revenue is high and my happiness is high, the numbers are working out. That's my guess.
Yeah.
You know? So I can't say that there was one thing that like trickled down to all of this. I think it just all kind of started falling into place. And then yesterday I like actually experienced it, that like my inbox was fun and the discovery call was fun. And then like the actual trip design, like just nothing has felt like a slog the last 2 days, you know, coming back from the holidays. And like, I'm like, oh, how do I make sure that this continues? And
Mhm.
that's in my control, right?
And so I think that the key there is like, it's the awareness, because now that you have the awareness, you're able to check yourself. Like when you start to do things and you're like, oh yeah, not having fun, what is in my control that can change that? And if you haven't like accessed the thing that you're after, you don't have the awareness to keep asking yourself that and pivot and make changes when necessary.
I think the way that this comes into like actual execution, like looking at my inbox right now, is like I have a repeat client who I adore and I love her, but she's like asking me for a trip that I don't really agree with. I don't work with Airbnbs. I can't magically find an apartment for you. I've never been to Switzerland. I think South of France, Switzerland, Croatia combination is really weird. I don't really understand it. I want to support her and be supportive, and also I have to be really honest with her. I've never been to Switzerland. I don't like 2 months ago Whitney would have been like, yeah, this is a repeat client that I've been working with her for 5 or 6 years and I like her, and I want to be helpful. And today Whitney is like, I don't think I can really add value to this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And being okay with that.
And if I can't add value, then I'm saying yes to the slog. I'm saying yes to a moderate budget that probably isn't going to be enough, seeking accommodation that is a really random request that I'll never use again for another client, and learning about a destination that I've never been to and that is not a top priority for me.
Right. Yeah.
That's a slog. That's when things start to not feel fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So less of that.
Yeah.
So I think like that's the connection of like the awareness and the fun.
Yeah.
But then like do it. So then now in my inbox, does this sound fun? No, not really.
Like the fun filter is going through every email and interaction, and it's like the filter shows you something, and it's up to you to pay attention and
make decisions accordingly. And if at the end of this month I say that I didn't have fun, it's all within my power to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think this is all the same as niching, right? Like we can have the niche subject that's just not as fun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I'm having fun, Brianna.
I love your woo journey. It's nice.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Fun, Whitney. Yay.
Thank God, because you were a slog before. Jeez.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
How were the holidays? How was your out of office? How is it getting back into the office?
Yeah, I mean it's good overall. I think like timing wise, Kelsey came back at the beginning of December, and so we had like literally 2 weeks, and then we take the break, and like within the time she was gone, we like completely revamped how we do business and started this whole ClickUp journey. And then she was just like, F my life.
While she was gone, everything changed. She's been with you for years.
She's supposed to be in charge of like operations and all of that stuff. And so she was just, she fights change because she likes things how she knows them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I do think in the long run, it is good. But yeah, so that was kind of like a little bit messy. And then just somebody coming back with maternity leave, because, we both have had 2 kids and we know how it is. And her 2 under 2 is a lot. And so, it's the grace, because, we're women, we're mothers, we understand. And then there's also, it's the business where I'm just like, and I did pay you for 3 months of not working. I would like some work now.
And also, yeah. So can you tell me about ClickUp? Because so I did like a very not in-depth ChatGPT analysis of like, help me understand the difference between ClickUp and Asana, because these are the 2 most common things that you hear about. I'm all in on Asana. And what ChatGPT told me was not impressive. It did not like convince me to leave Asana and go to ClickUp. Now, Megan over on the Hive side, I brought them into Asana, and she was like, we're getting out of Asana ASAP. Have you seen what ClickUp can do? And she's like totally revamping our workflow for the Hive into ClickUp. And I'm like, oh no. you're going to make me take my
Oh.
agency to ClickUp, aren't you? So I need to know all the things about what you're
Okay.
doing.
You know what I'll do? I'll kind of just screenshot Loom you kind of like how we're using it and how everything is flowing. And I think, what we're trying to do now, I think the biggest like tension point is you still have to have a client management system for, documents and forms and all of that kind of stuff. And so making sure as much as possible that there's just not like two separate things that are overlapping in like the work that they're doing, but also kind of like your attention. I want all of like the tasks and the shareability between our team and the visibility for me as a big picture, all of the different elements of my business is a really great thing happening in ClickUp. And then I think just the understanding of how it also works with our client management system in the best way possible so that we're not like repeating things and making sure that like as clients move through the journey on this side, they're moving through here. And like, I know at all times where everybody's at, what everything is doing. But yes, I have been very happy with it. I don't have like the Asana knowledge to kind of compare on my own. So
Yeah.
I think that I'll just Loom you kind of like how we have it set up. So you obviously have the knowledge of Asana and can kind of see like what I understood was the premise is the same for all task management systems. It's really kind of like the more in-depth, like what it can do on the different levels. And also, I don't know how like the automations and stuff work on Asana, if they're better, if they're worse, what have you. But
I think what I've learned recently about ClickUp that Asana is not doing, or at least I don't know how to do it, is like some AI stuff.
yeah.
Are you
And I
using
actually
like
don't even use it that much yet for that part, but it is like you have a brain essentially. So that like, if something comes in and you're just like, make this, brain, do this, brain, make this a task, brain, like whatever. But I haven't got there yet, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
I still, probably scratching the surface. Anyway, so that kind of was like the end of the year, going into the beginning of the year. I had a great time off. I took my family to Whistler. I attempted to ski. I embarrassed myself. So badly.
You tried.
I tried.
I don't ski either, so I'm not gonna judge you.
Oh God, I tried, but I literally and here's the problem. When you're a person like me who considers himself pretty athletic, I can do anything. I'm competitive as hell. So I feel like if this 5-year-old over here is whizzing down the hill, that's how I feel in my brain. And I got up there to do like real skiing, like off of the bunny slopes. And it was so embarrassing.
Humbling.
I started falling and I couldn't stop, essentially. And the thing about it is, once we're at the top, there's only one way down. Like you have to go down. You can't go back up and just say, never mind. Like you must go down. So people were stopping to be like, are you okay? Do you need help? And I'm just like, I am mortified. You know, when you're like so embarrassed and frustrated, you just want to cry. Like that's where I was. Like, I just want to cry.
Were you skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing.
Have you skied before? Like, have you?
I've taken one lesson and then I thought I was a pro. I mean, not a pro. I was like, it's just difficult when you're learning something, I think, as an adult.
Yeah.
So I'm not closing the door all the way, but in my mind, I'm like, people pay a lot of money for these damn ski trips. It's like all of the accommodations and like you're going at like these peak seasons because it's so seasonal, especially when you're going over Christmas and New Year's. And then you have all the gear and the passes. And I'm just like looking at all the money I spent for this trip. And I'm like, or I could have been anywhere else for less, enjoying, not doing physical activity day after day and then freezing the rest of the time. Cause like what else?
Failing, and failing and feeling horrible about it.
So yeah, I'm not convinced yet. But anyway,
I mean, I had like my whole Instagram feed was just travel advisor friends on ski trips the last 2 weeks, to be honest. And like, it looks beautiful. It looks fun, but like, I can't ski like those people. So it wouldn't be fun for me.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Families who are like all great skiers and they all have their little gear that they own and everything. They have fun. I don't know her in person, but I know her online. There's a travel advisor friend, and she actually was in Whistler the same time I was. And I saw her and I'm like, wait a second. Like we literally are like in the same, Whistler is not that big. So it's the same.
But now
restaurant.
don't watch me go down the mountain.
And
You go ahead.
I realize like
I'll catch up.
thankfully, I am kind of recognizable, especially in ski towns. So I feel like if you see me, you'll know. I am London. Let's just say that.
So will you be skiing again next year?
I don't know. It's funny because my kid we live in, Orange County. Why does Newport Beach have a ski week that they give kids off for school? I don't know. I think it's because too many of these damn people
have a ski week,
a
full week off of school called ski week
in Newport Beach. What sense does that make? Yeah. I don't understand. So
there's so many things I would like to say that should not.
Yeah, exactly. So my husband's like, should we go skiing again? I was like, no, absolutely.
What about water skiing?
Yeah, we're going to Costa Rica for a week. That's what we're doing for ski week. Because I'm not going to sit here and look at my kids in the face. But
no,
I am not going skiing. I'm not using ski week for skiing.
It's fascinating that it's not just like a week off of school, like vacation. It's called ski week.
Yes.
And all the schools in the area do this?
I don't know. Newport Beach does. I'm not sure if it's the whole county but yeah.
That's so fascinating. I think it would make sense if if everybody has skis in their backpack because you literally live on a mountain, sure, go ski. But you're assuming that every family is now packing up and flying to some mountain with their fancy ski gear to ski for the week?
Exactly.
That is presumptuous.
Do all my son's friends have mountain houses in Aspen? I don't know, but maybe.
Are they keeping it a secret from you?
Yeah, they must be.
Rude.
Yeah. So yeah, that kind of start to the year feels a little chaotic, but I'm also excited for this year. I think that last year was a good year for me revenue wise, and I'm like the doomsday person who never thinks it's going to repeat. It just was a fluke. Who knows why it happened?
What was a fluke?
Just growth. And I'm never counting on things being the same, which is, I don't know. It just is my personality. But I am hopeful that if we do stay on that same trajectory, I feel really good about where we're at and the capacity and, the weight that's on my shoulders that's also being lifted. And so that part of it feels really good.
What will you not be bringing into 2026 from last year?
Oh, will I not be bringing? I don't know that I have the same response to you in terms of not feeling joy and not feeling happy, but I do definitely resonate with the scarcity mindset aspect of what I say yes to and what I continue to allow to be part of my business that doesn't serve me in the best way. I want to stop saying yes based off of scarcity mindset. I do have let me help. It's I just am such a helper. If I feel like you need my help, let me give it to you.
Yeah, I feel like we all do a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's probably part of the inner workings of what, makes us good at this type of job. But the scarcity part of it that I should, because it's money or it's clients or, that part of it, I want to learn to release and not operate from that mindset, because I have so many years of experience telling me anytime that little thing on my shoulder says, you shouldn't do this isn't a good idea, and I do it anyway, it always is right. It always turns out to be that wasn't a win. That was not a win in any way, shape, or form.
That was not fun.
It was not
fun. Do not recommend. 0 out of 10. Okay, so What if we flip the script here?
Mm.
And we rather, instead of focusing on like all the things that we do that we wish we would do, all the stuff, what is the ideal situation? Like, just in a perfect world, you know, inquiry comes in. What happens? Like, in a perfect world, how are these decisions made? How are they handled? How is communication?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I did really well because you were the one, I think, who pushed me to stop being the gatekeeper so that I didn't have to have my bleeding heart.
You
on the
cannot
line.
be trusted.
Which is probably why I'm saying this, because when I had to do it for 3 months, I went back to like, oh, you want to go somewhere in 6 weeks? Sure. Oh, you like, you know what I mean? I just went back.
Kelsey, but get your butt back to the desk. She needs help.
Exactly. I think that's what happened. So continuing that, kind of in place to keep me from myself is a really, really, really good strategy. And then I think, I always struggle, even when we're talking about niching, I struggle with saying what I would say my niche would be. Literally. I always like in my little phrase that I can just elevator pitch it. I'm like, it's not a specific destination is a certain way of travel. But have I truly defined what this certain way of travel is that I am searching, aligning, all of that too? I don't know that I have done a great job.
So,
here is.
I think there's a difference between your expertise from a marketing standpoint and like what you talk about and what you share and what is like the outward facing. I think there's a slight difference between that and your niche in terms of like what you say yes to in terms of agreeing to spend your time on.
Mm.
And those two things might not be like exactly synonymous. So, for example, I've been planning a lot of Peru lately. I have a really solid DMC in Peru.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of research on Peru and the hotels and the logistics and the experiences. And so I've never been, but I feel very comfortable planning it due to like having done it a million times and having researched it so many times and also having a really solid partner. I understand budget expectations and I understand the budget spectrum of, where we can flex and whatnot. And so would I market Peru as an area of expertise outwardly? No, I've never been there. So that I don't have a photo of me in Peru. Like that doesn't seem authentic whatsoever. When a Peru inquiry comes to my inbox, I say yes.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that although I haven't been there, I can add value to that conversation. I can enhance the experience compared to what they might do or try to plan on their own. Now, do I still have room to grow in enhancing the experience even more if I got myself there personally? 100%.
Yeah.
And I do intend to go in the next 2 years. Like it's on the list. I will get myself there soon. But just because I haven't been somewhere doesn't mean I'm going to say no. Like I can still deliver well on it. So
I don't have a problem at all believing that I plan great trips to places I haven't been to or haven't been to in a while. When the right like pieces are in place, like great partner, good understanding and kind of like what the experience should be like there. Like for instance, for me, I would say it's Japan. Now I have been to Japan and the last time I was in Japan was 2011, I think. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. You could say I haven't been to Japan and you would be accurate enough. But I have planned a fam trip there for this year, but I plan a lot of Japan. I say yes to all Japan inquiries. I talk about Japan actually in social media. So I feel like that's not my stopping point, or my tension point. Yeah, I don't know. But I definitely think that like there is more on me to curate my book of business better.
I think I mean, my brain is always so pragmatic and like checklisty, and so my brain kind of goes toward like, well, what's like the list of things I can consider when a new inquiry comes in, right? Because like, what do other business owners do to filter? Like, okay, put a different spin on it. You can only plan 60 trips per year. That's it. It's like a quota. Just go with me. Don't give me that face. Jesus. I wish you guys could see her face. That was so aggressive. Like,
I would be in trouble. Okay, go on.
good. I picked a good number because I got a visceral reaction out of you because I know you plan 150 to 200 trips a year. You're insane. You can only plan 60.
Okay.
It's like a quota. Once you meet 60, you can't say no to anyone more. No matter how much they need your help, no matter how much you could help them, no matter how people pleasing you are. In this imaginary life, you can plan 60 and that's it. So now, what needs to be true? For an inquiry to come in, what does it need to look like for you to say, that's one of my 60?
Oh, it's like a combination of like interesting.
Yes,
interesting to me.
has to
Like
be fun, right?
I feel like I read the inquiry and I'm like, oh, this is exciting. Like the people are exciting. What they want is exciting. There has to also be kind of like this level of trust in me. Like they're coming to me because they're like, oh my gosh, I know she's going to make this better. Not just like, oh, here's the list of things you can book for me and da 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 da.
This is good. This is good. Good thing we're recording this.
And obviously, I based on destination, but like the budget has to be not restrictive in like I can take my creativity and make it work without having to be like, oh, but we'll compromise on the hotels or they'll not do this many activities because the budget won't stretch for that. So appropriately being able to spend what the experience I envision is going to cost.
Yeah.
And then from a destination standpoint, like, yeah, all over the world, but like definitely more the percentage of Africa would be higher out of the 60. And does this create a niche?
No, I don't think a niche is the right word.
Okay. This creates kind of like a buy box, so to speak. I'm like,
it creates, yeah, I don't know what the word is, but it creates a sort of guideline or just like a North Star of like, if see what's fascinating right now is that like, we're not struggling to define this, but like, it's not straightforward and it's not black and white. So if we're just having a conversation about this and it's not black and white, it's definitely not black and white in our inbox.
Right.
When we're trying to decide how to do this, right? So I think it's the factors that you haven't mentioned yet. It's also how far in advance they're reaching out. It's also like time of year, like your plate at that moment that the inquiry comes in. Like, am I overloaded right now and you want to leave in 6 weeks? Like, that's probably a pass. Maybe. But this is what we are not doing for ourselves. And so I think bringing Kelsey in to do it for you has helped. Not everybody has someone to like do that. So then it's just a matter of like, do you care about you or this person that you've never met before more?
Yeah.
So if you really factor it in, like the only kind of limitation that has actually made me go, oh, is like limiting, like you can only plan 60 per year. Make it good. Because if you can only plan a limited number, then like very quickly, you're not going to take on low budget stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you only have 60 or if you only have whatever the number is, if you only have a finite number, they have to be profitable too.
Right.
So it's sort of like a decision-making tree or just like a filter of taking everything through this. Like, how heavy is my plate right now? How far in advance are you reaching out? What destination are you asking for? Is your inquiry interesting? Does your inquiry and the investment that you're interested in, is it going to allow me to be creative? Is it going to allow me to enhance this experience? Or am I just delivering it for you? Am I just like confirming bookings for you? Right. Do I have a partner in that destination? Do I feel like I can really execute this seamlessly, or am I going to be pulling my hair out trying to do what you're asking? Does this sound fun?
Yeah. And I think that the biggest thing for me, even now, like when I'm thinking about it and also kind of like layering in what my plan and my goals are for 2026, is that my goal this year, because I am actively working to step more out of the day-to-day, is to teach and explain like my logic in a better way, so that so much of like the kind of maybe boundaries that might exist, like for me personally, like I don't care. This doesn't sound like the best, but they don't need to exist in the same way for my team. But they do need, I need to do a better job of being able to share logic, like not the things I can just tell you, but just kind of like thought processes and considerations and how I move through my brain, and pass that off appropriately so that my brain is not needed.
To your team?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that my goal for 2026 is in some way tied to like doing that well, that it makes such a like obvious difference in my, what I'm carrying and responsible for in the day-to-day like client load.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's successful, then I feel like by the end of the year, I just am like the visionary, lighthearted person doing things that just light me up and fun, and not, these due dates are not on my plate, really.
No due dates on your plate? Everything was like, wait, what? Man, how do I get all due dates off my plate?
I don't know.
No, but I do. No, but I do think that it is important to like dream a little bit, because what I have found in recent conversations with advisors is like we feel like we're in the weeds. But most people, myself included, don't even have a North Star. So like, how do you get out of the weeds if you don't even know what you can't just say you want it to be better, or you want it to be less stressful, or you want to have more fun. Like, I know I'm saying that, but like you got to have a plan too. So I think that like this, even though dreaming of like what is the perfect new inquiry situation, like, and what does that look like, and how do we feel good about knowing that we're going to say no to half the people who reach out to us? Like, how do we get into that headspace? I think we've got to like flip the script and kind of dream a little bit to establish a North Star. And then we can kind of work backwards to be like, how do we actually make this happen? Because we're about 10 years into people pleasing, and it's not like great. Like there's room for improvements.
Are the people pleased?
I'm glad they are. I'm not.
I know. Again,
and that's
more important here. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I think that if I had to sum up what I'm leaving in 2025 and switching in 2026 or improving, is that I'm the priority.
Mm-hmm.
Not the client. I want to have more fun. I want to exercise more.
Right.
I want to have dinner without thinking about work.
Imagine that.
Is that too much to ask for? I don't think it is. And I know that like the power for that to happen is all in my hands. Like, it's up to me to make that happen. And so that means I need to go into a couple emails here and tell them that I'm probably not the best fit.
Thank you so much. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, I'm happy to hear the new year is off to a good start.
It is. It is. And yours too. And you're having more fun.
It'll be like 10 seconds from now that it'll be February. So January always goes fast.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
All right. Okay. I'm excited to hear how you're doing with your people pleasing next month. But Kelsey's probably taken back over, so it's probably going to be resolved, I imagine.
I hope so. That's the goal. And well, yes, but I will update. And then just refine from there. Be like, be more, vigilant.
Kelsey. Have more fun, maybe.
Yeah, have more fun.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the goal. All right.
See you next month.
See ya.